Greetings, Keechlings. Keechmar here with another My Hero Academia Power-Up video. Today we're doing Setsuna Tokage, aka Lizardy, from Class 1B. And I could see her being called the Splitting Hero or the Separating Hero Lizardy when she goes pro, though I don't really like her name at all, so but anyway, with all these I do equipment, general power-up concept, super moves, and because it's my hero, quirk evolution. And the first is the Iguana Whip. It's inspired by an iguana's own tail whipping tactic that it uses to deter predators, so I thought this would make for a good tool for like offensive capability, restraining targets, but also on the off chance her quirk cannot be activated in training or practice, it's alternative travel, like swinging around and whatnot. I just see it as that. Next is the snake tape. This is very similar to Aizawa's capture tape, or capture cloth, where he can restrict an opponent. So this basically works the same, except it has a snake quality to it because they're all lizard and reptile themed here. But I thought a little clasp on the end to kind of go full Ouroboros, the snake that bites its own tail kind of thing, and it gives it that much more holding power when she wraps someone in it. Next is the scale dagger. This one is simply that, a dagger that she can use to fight with, pry open doors and other openings to get into places. Simple as that. Could also be given as a tool to an ally as well, so she can help equip, because she's going to have more than one of these. Next is the lizard skin tarp. This tool is inspired by Buggy the Clown's post time skip appearance, where he's like Big Top Buggy kind of deal, or Big Star Buggy. I always forget his name or his epithet now, but where he makes himself look bigger, but he's just separating his body, much like Tokage can do, hence the inspiration. But anyway, this is inspired by that, but also a firefighter safety net that they use to catch people that are jumping from burning buildings and the like. And I thought, okay, give her a durable, fireproof tarp that allows her to, save people from falling, but also she can snuff out small fires by covering it up, cutting off the oxygen to the fire, but she can even restrain villains with this. This will be elaborated on later. Next is the claw shuriken. Now these S-shaped looking shuriken can obviously be used as a shuriken, a throwing weapon, but also as a melee weapon when she needs like a brass knuckles approach. But also, because of their unique S-shape, they can be used as climbing apparatus for, a more mountainous terrain if she so happens to be, or even can scale a building to some degree with them. Next is the OmniView System. It's a pairing of a VR helmet mixed with numerous cameras. Excuse me. This allows her to eliminate her biggest weakness that I've noticed so far, and this was during the joint training session, where when she splits up into her whole body, I was like, okay, this is cool, but how does she perceive things around her? And we got that answer is that she only can sense, basically the form of touch through most of her body, as you would expect, because no eyes, no ears, no nose. She can't get any more of the five senses other than touch. So I thought, put cameras on all of them. And then using the VR helmet, she's wearing it, she can just change her view to any of the other pieces, and then there you go. She can scout out a whole area, or gather information more naturally and whatnot, because it'll have full-on camera capabilities, vision and hearing. So she'll be her own infonet. Next is the Camellia Cloaking. This is a suit modification that allows her to blend in with her environment. It'll alter her suit so that now she, like the chameleon, can blend in with her environment. Very much like Suyu in a way, where it's kind of limited, where if you're looking directly at her, you can still see her, but with Tokage, because all of her parts are going to be smaller, about the size of your fist, it seems like, it definitely seems more likely you're not going to notice her, especially with this particular piece of equipment. Which then further adds to the OmniView. Like, now she's even more hidden. She can bug a building and you may not ever notice her. And finally, for equipment, we have the Tactile Bag. This is like a tactical bag, military style backpack that allows her to hold all of this equipment when she's not using it, but also have like a snack pocket, a place for medical supplies and the like, just to have everything she needs. And yeah, simple as that. Next, we have general power-up concepts, and I only came up with 2 of these. The first being more advanced, like search and rescue training, because she could effectively, along with some of the equipment that I've stated thus far, could very well become a one-woman search team. Because she can, like, say a child, for instance, is in the woods. She can send out her pieces. They're scouting the whole area. She's in, like, they relay the information back via the OmniView, and she can see everything in a certain area. Thing can also go for, like, a collapsed building from, a natural disaster. She can send in her pieces. They can get into all the little nooks and crannies to find any victims. There you go. Next is advanced first aid training. Now this will kind of go more into something later, but I think all heroes kind of have like a base level of this, but she might need to go a little step further, where, first aid, especially, for heroes that are, usually the first responders, even beyond first responders in some cases, when disaster strikes, a villain attack, all that kind of stuff, they can possibly be the life or death factor for some of these victims. So her being able to act in the most efficient and effective manner possible for the people that she's serving would be great. Next is super moves. The first is a simple one, the flying punch and or kick. She just launches her arm or her leg off, or just a portion of it, completing the attack. Next is rapid shot. This is where she just randomly shoots off parts of her body, and then the target's not going to really know which one to try and block next. It's like, oh, is she going to hit me with her arm, or is she going to go for a piece of her torso? What? So it'll be a very effective multi-hit combo. Next is the dagger shot. This is where she holds one of the scale daggers and goes full buggy with his bara harpoon, and then he just, would shoot his arm off. She can do the same thing. Next is the distract wrap. This is where I mentioned previously with the tarp. She uses a few of her pieces to kind of distract a target, and then they're like, what is she doing? And then turns out it's all a trap. She uses the tarp and wraps them up, restraining them for, the authorities to come. Next is the trick split. This is where, right before the impact of an attack, she basically just separates herself, and they think like she exploded or something, which is going to be quite confusing when you don't have an explosion cork or something. And then, like, in that confusion, she can take that as an advantage for a counterattack. Maybe it won't be effective long term, her whole career, but, like, I would imagine if someone just exploded in front of me, I'm still going to be confused, even if I know she can do that. Next is Trojan Lizard. This is where she basically hollows out her being, but, on the outside she still looks fine. She can store items into herself, even a shrinking ally, because I'm sure there's characters that can shrink themselves. And then, like, say, during a hostage situation, she can carry in supplies, a flashbang for a distraction later on, or the ally, which would then be a surprise attack. And, all that kind of stuff. So it'd be fun in a hostage exchange where you think, I was like, okay, a hero for a civilian, ha ha ha, I'm winning. And then turns out she's just flashbanged and then takes you all out, or has a shrinking hero inside of her that, grows back to normal size, and now there's two heroes fighting you. It would be a fun scene. Next is split tag team. This is where she just splits herself right down the middle, and then now you have two halves of a human fighting you from different angles. Very weird, very distracting, but very effective. Next is divide and conquer. Another buggy-inspired attack where I think it was Carnival or Parade that he does, where he splits all of himself apart, and then he just kind of does like a cyclone whirlwind of them, doing massive damage to everyone in the area. So let's picture that. Next is Quark Evolution. Now, obviously, she could learn how to split herself into even smaller pieces, making more of herself, further expanding the networks and stuff that she can cover and whatnot. But I thought, lizards and autonomy, or autotomy, Tommy? Whatever. Anyway, they can regrow their limbs. And then I remembered that she does the same thing. If parts of her actually get destroyed, she can regrow them. So then I thought, if she could mentally have like a kill switch of sorts, where the rest of her body thinks that parts of her are gone, she'll start regrowing on other parts, creating clones, full body clones. And then she now has like a small shadow clone style force, or very much like Robin from One Piece, where she makes clones of herself, just in a different way. Now, how she deals with the clones afterwards, I don't know. Maybe another an autoimmunity thing. When she turns off the kill switch, they realize that they're not meant to exist because it was a trick, and then they just break down on their own into nothing. And another way that these clones could be used is in autotomy, organ, and blood donation. Now, this is more of a thing that she would do for society itself, because donating an organ is a big thing. Not everyone makes it onto the list, which it's a long wait list. It can sometimes be years, and sadly people perish due to the vital organs that they can't get. Or you're just not able to make it onto the list due to age and medical conditions that would make it less viable for you. So I would think, if she makes a bunch of clones, she could just split off organs from herself. It sounds very disturbing, but hey, I think a hero would do it if they could, right? And it's to no cost to her, technically. And then the organ can then be used to help someone else. And also the same thing for the blood donation. The Red Cross would love this girl, because she would make an army of these people, of herself, and then just go to all the different blood banks that are doing, blood drives, and then she just gives enough blood to supply up her blood type for, a whole year or something. Who knows? In one day. The downside is she only has the one blood type, but hey, it's still a good thing, am I right? But yeah. Also, a random thought I had was maybe she could also be a form of prosthetic limb that could be grafted on. Like, she separates an arm off, she regens that arm, and then attaches it to someone who needs said limb, and then maybe through some kind of medical science that is available in the My Hero world, they can graft it and make it that person's own arm. Remodel it, make it to where it's not going to be rejected and where it's not being controlled by her anymore, and there you go. But yeah, those are some of my thoughts of what she could do in the future. Let me know yours. And yeah. Anyway, check out my other content, see what you like, suggest things for the future. I stream on Twitch. I'll tweet it out live when I go live, so follow my social medias to stay in the loop. I'm part of a couple podcasts, the One Punch Man podcast on Grim Reaper's channel, the weekly manga podcast that I co-host with Griever, so check out their channels. And as always, thank you for watching, like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, Keishlings, roll out!